You can have the best toy on Amazon, the best price, the best written listing in your categories, and still lose the sales in 2 seconds. Here's how. A shopper scrolls the search page. In about 2 seconds, they decide whether or not to click on your product or the one next to it. In those 2 seconds, they haven't read a single word you have written, not your title, not your bullet point. They only judge on one thing, your main image, and then they make the decision. So everything we have talked about previously about copywritings and keyword optimization, never even get a chance. So that is a brutal part of this category within the toys and game product. The word underneath only matter if the image earned the click first. I'm Jason Shea, the founder of Toy Launch. We handle Amazon management, digital marketing, our in-house studio, and also TikTok shop for toys and game brands. We have see and create a lot of toys and game creative. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact visual plan that we built before any product go live and the one that really earned the clicks. And here is a belief to flip today. Most creators pour their energy into words and treat images as an afterthought. It is really backward. In the toys and game category, your visual do even more selling than your copy will ever will because people are too lazy to read. So let me show you why and what do you need to think of when you're creating design, creative video for your listing. Again, this is day 5 of our 7 days of Amazon Launchpad Challenge. And this is a day most creators under invest in. And this is really showing their conversion. So why is visual your highest lever investment? In the toys and game category specifically, visual carry a lot more weight than almost any other category on Amazon. Your buyers, parents, gift givers, grandparents are making emotional purchases. They are buying something that's going to make their child happy, create a family memory, or show someone that they really care. That emotional decision is made visually. A main image that can show the product clearly and make it look like it belongs in the quality brand really earn the clicks. The lifestyle shot that show family laughing over a game table really give the buyers the emotional permission to purchase. An infographic that answer is this appropriate for 8 years old really remove the hesitation that's about to send them to the competitor. And here's how today's connected to previous lessons. In today's, on day 4, you roll the text layer of all 8 components I mentioned about to have the best optimized Amazon listing, including the word for the visuals, your infographic captions, your video script, your brand story copywriting, and your A+ messaging. Today, we're going to talk about the visual layer that those words really live in. So you're not just starting from scratch. You're walking into your shoes, your design with a copy already written, which is exactly how a real studio usually works, like the studio we own. Every single images in your listing has a specific job. Today, you define that job, and then you plan the build around it. So first, let's start with the first component. Amazon main images is the first image that you have in your image stack. So this is the first image. So usually you want to have a white background. The product field need to be at least 85% of the frame, and you don't want to have a lot of extra stuff on it. So with those constraints, you can still be creative and like featuring your box, for example, like we did here. And you can also try to have like a special call out for the product as part of the images. There's different way to design it. Your main image, you should do a lot of A/B testing on your main image as well, because this is the highest leverage point when you come to improving your click-through rate on Amazon. So it is very, very important. And if you are selling a board game, it might also include different components to show in your keyword images as well. That's one more thing to consider. And also you want to study the main image of your top competitor, then ask, what can I do better? Second is your secondary images or your like the rest of the images inside your image stack. Amazon does allow up to 6 additional images and plus 1 video. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's including the main images. But once you can actually upload more than 6, you can upload up to 9. But most people only see the first 6. Because they will only see the remaining 3 when they click on it. When they click on one of the images, then they can see the remaining. But most people are just too lazy. They usually don't always see the rest. So you want to make sure you optimize them for the first 6. And then on the secondary images, you want to include lifestyle images that show product being used by the people who buy it. For toys and game product, that means a child using it. For example, this picture here, this is actually my son using it. He was our product model for our toy brand as well. Or you can just show like family playing together if this is a board game that you're selling. And the images that you want to portray is you want to give your buyer an emotional confirmation that this is the right product for their situation. And your infographic images should answer your buyer's most common question visually. For example, you want to talk about any specific feature or special design of your product or special material that you're using for the product as well. You want to just call it out visually and then this is where the infographic really come in. For board game product, usually I highly recommend, I can also open another board game listing as an example as well. For board game product, you definitely want to make sure you include like how it is being played. And also, for example, you want to code out what is the age of players, obviously, like is it 2 to how many players, age range for the players, and how long does it take to play the games. Those are the most important information you really want to include in your infographic as well. And if you have some testimonial, feel free to include testimonial in your infographic as well. And then you also want to like showcase what is actually inside. If you're selling a board game, especially, you want to really show, because most board game we work with have a lot of different components. We want to show them exactly before they make the purchase what is inside the box in one of your images. Then you just show more happy people playing the game. This also play into the kind of the consumer psychology to really keep the buyer, like show the buyers of like, oh, this is great for family. This is also exciting for playing with friends, so on and so forth. And your detailed images should show the quality up close. You can show the material as well. You can show component, quality of constructions. In the toys and game category, perceptions is really, really important. Like the perceived quality is one of the primary decision factors. So show the buyer your product is really worth what you are charging for. And the best way to do that is just show that in your images as well. One more thing to know, we put together a full image shot list, exact frame that the toys or game listing needs, the same brief that we use inside our own studio, free inside the communities, toys and game launchpad. We'll walk you through how to take those photos as well with the exact checklist instead of guessing. So feel free to download all the free resources at our free community, Toys and Game Launchpad. You can find that at toy-launch.com/group, or you can see the link in the description of today's video. So back to the next component is your product video, which is also a very, very important component for your listing. Amazon allow multiple video per listing. As you can see, this listing right now, if I itself, you have a lot of different video. So the more video you can include, the better it's going to perform. You want to include unboxing videos, testimonial videos, influencer videos, even how to play video. The more different type of video you can create and upload to your listing, the better. And then you can also get video from Amazon influencer as well, which is a different topic I'm not going to go too much into today, but that's another way to get other video to show up on your listing. Again, your product listing should be about 60 to 90 seconds long for the video, and you can show the product in actions, like I mentioned. And then you also want to get more video from other influencers. And if you're filming the video yourself, you don't really need a studio. You can just make sure you have good lighting, a clean background, and also steady shot initially, and then that will be a good place to start. Again, the more video that you have, the better. And obviously that's the listing video. Beside the listing video, that's also advertising video that you want to create, which is a little bit different setup. So I'll just play one video for you. So this is a very simple video that I just showed. So it's about 45 seconds. This is a video we are using to run advertising, which is a little bit different than your video that you want to include in your listing itself. So you definitely want to have several different type of video, like I mentioned. Listing videos, that could be unboxing video, how to play videos, so on and so forth. And then have an advertising video to only showcasing your product using Amazon video ads, which we usually recommend to have a 45-second, very fast-paced, fast transition like the video I just showed you with big, bold text overlay. You can just have a music. It doesn't really need to have a voice like explanation, because a lot of people won't turn on the sound when they're watching the video on Amazon anyway. So those are our recommendation for video setup. Next is, if you have Amazon Brand Registry, you can replace your plain text description with A+ content, which I also briefly mentioned in the previous video as well. A+ content is, again, super important visually. This is also the best way to really showcase your product and like showcasing how your product is more of a premium product compared to the competitors. So this is a toy listing, but let me show you a board game listing, but following the same concept. So you start with the brand logos, then you have banners. Then, like I mentioned before, we usually like to use a 4x4 grid. So you can have 4 different images and 4 different icons, and you talk about different benefits. For some product, if it's simple enough, see, you can also include a QR code so people can scan the code and watch a quick how-to video on how to play the game as well. If the game is simple enough, you can also include some of the simple instruction as images in your A plus content itself. So that's a lot of different ways you can consider to design the A plus content. Every single component you want to think about how you want to design it and showcase your product so you have the best light. So like I mentioned, in the 4x4 grid setup, it is a really good balance between design and copywriting. And that's why you want to kind of call out different benefit and different feature in the text, but then you also want to find appropriate images that will go well with all the text that you want to put in as well. So that's all the design that you really want to think about as part of the process. So let me just recap. For today's lesson, we talk about how do you plan for your main images. Also, we also talk about having a really good set of images for main images and also secondary images so you have a full image set. Then you also want to create your video for your listing. And like I mentioned, you can have multiple videos in your Amazon listing. The more the better. And then you also want to design your A plus content and also the brand story I mentioned briefly, which is a horizontal banner that you can also use and you want to turn on for your listing as well. So for the worksheet and the checklist for today's lesson is waiting for you inside our free communities, Toys and Game Launchpad, where every day's template, PDF, and step-by-step worksheet will be all in there, so you can follow along as well. Just visit toy-launch/group or click the link in the description below. Now your listing is built and your visual is planned, but a perfect listing with no review and no ads is still invisible. So tomorrow we're going to fix that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about review and advertising, the two engines that's going to carry your launch from day one. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.